Welcome to the show, guys. Happy Monday. In this video, we are talking about early round running backs, like we're talking around 1-2 type running backs here that could be fool's gold. I have 3 running backs in this episode that are going to be drafted very high. A lot of your league mates may draft them. I may consider drafting one. I'm still on the fence about it, but I'm kind of leaning a big no because I really believe that this running back is fool's gold. So 3 running backs that have some serious question marks going into the season are going to be drafted very high, okay? They could be fool's gold. They look really shiny and, they look like gold right now, but there could be some serious issues, and I'm going to explain those issues here in this video, okay? So fool's gold running backs, I got 3 big names here, and by avoiding them, you could save your season because you don't want to invest that early draft pick, all right? Now, if you're new to the channel, make sure you guys smash the thumbs up and subscribe. Now, either way, if you're a regular, smash the thumbs up, lion thumbs up. You guys know the drill. Smash the thumbs up. It only takes a second. It really helps the channel. And drop a comment below. Which early round running back do you guys think could be a trap? Could be a running back that's going to bust this year potentially, and is absolutely fool's gold. Looks amazing on paper, looks high on the rankings, but could be a serious problem. Drop that name below. Want to make this super interactive. Now, also, if you're new, and if you're not new, if you're a regular, if you got 16 rounds last year, grab it again right now. You can pre-order it right now. I'm launching the first version of it in about a week and a half. I'm doing some mock drafts, laying out 16 rounds as we speak. You can pre-order it right now. I've linked it below. Use code WIN to save 20%. Sleepers, breakouts, optimal players drafted in each round. Draft kits and rankings are dead. 16 rounds is here. It's the future. It's been out for 5 years, but if you're just catching on, welcome. You're going to be very pleasantly surprised, and you're going to dominate your leagues, all right? Let's dive into this. Again, smash that thumbs up. First running back here that is fool's gold, all right? I mean, again, this is a running back that I'm not high on. I wasn't high on last year. I'm going to tell you why, right? The guy I'm talking about is Travis Etienne. Now, a lot of people are high on him. He's sitting relatively high on the rankings. He's sitting 10 in standard, 11th in PPR amongst running backs, okay? So we're looking at easily a second round draft pick on a guy that people think is going to be a workhorse running back. Now, I'll give you the pluses on him. He was a first round pick a couple years ago, and he is on an offense that I like. I'm a Trevor Lawrence believer. I think this offense will have a great year. I think adding Calvin Ridley is exciting. I think that they are possibly playoff bound here with Trevor Lawrence. I like the offense. So he's in a position theoretically where he can thrive. Now, he had that Linz-Frag surgery his rookie year. He had that foot issue. He was out the entire year. I believe it was a foot injury back in 2021. Now, let's talk about 2022, where he actually played a full year. And not bad. I mean, the attempts were there. 220 attempts, 1,125 yards, 5.1 yards per carry, 5 touchdowns on the ground, and you want to tack on 35 receptions. You would think for a guy who, is kind of known for catching the ball, would have more than 35 receptions. Didn't happen. Here are the turnoffs. That's kind of the plus. He had he had a pretty good performance where he finished relatively high. He finished 17th in PPR last year. Not bad. Okay, so we're going to pat him on the back and say, okay, well, that's not bad. Now, again, you're supposed to be a workhorse running back. You're supposed to thrive. But even when he had the opportunity to thrive with no other running back there, he only managed to finish 17th, and he had a lot of dud games. Now, I won't go over all of the dud games, but I will tell you this. Week 4 and 14 had 3.2 points PPR. Now, imagine if you have a running back, and he's supposed to be your RB1, and the Chiefs just told you he's your RB1, and he only finishes with 3.2 points in a game. Never mind doing it twice. In week 12, he had 0.3. Okay, let me repeat that. That would be 3 rushing yards, wouldn't it? Again, I'm not a mathematician here, but 0.3 points. That means he didn't catch a ball in PPR. Okay, 0.3 PPR points in week 12. When he started off the season, he had around 8 points the first 2 games, 8.8 and change, 8.2, 8.3 points each of one of those games, first 2 games. So he had a couple good games. I'm not going to take that away from him, but we're talking inconsistency here, guys. We're talking about a guy that is inconsistent, and that is something I want to make a point of, okay? So that's the first thing. Second thing, they went ahead and drafted a stud in Tank Bixby. Now you're like, oh, Tank Bixby, he's not that great. We don't know yet how that's going to translate into the NFL, but he was pretty darn good in college. I watched his tape. Now, he runs pretty hard. He's got a great stiff arm. He likes to break tackles. And the guy is, 6 feet, 208 pounds. He's a big guy, and I think he's going to be a good guy around the goal line and maybe even some early downs. And maybe they're going to use Etienne in the, third down situations as more of a scat back. We don't know. But I will tell you this. In 2020, 179 attempts, 970 yards, 5.4 yards per carry, and 10 touchdowns. He had 10 touchdowns in his 2021 college season as well, 1,099 yards, and 223 attempts. 223 attempts, that's a workhorse running back. This is a guy they drafted in the third round. If they weren't interested in another running back, and if they didn't see a talent in Tank Bixby, then they wouldn't have drafted him in the third round. They would have waited, and they didn't, because they know something that maybe we don't. All I'm saying is this. I'm fading Etienne, and I'm getting Tank Bixby for absolutely free later on and rolling the dice as my RB 4-5. That's it. That's all I'm going to say on this, because I believe with certainty that Travis Etienne is fool's gold. We had a year to see it, and he had a lot of inconsistency. So my question is, are you guys going to spend an early round draft pick on a guy that we know is inconsistent and that we know could be in a serious timeshare situation where Tank could actually possibly take that RB1 role? We don't know, but I'll tell you this. I think Travis Etienne is fool's gold, and I'm not investing early. Tank Bixby, big time sleeper, all right? Number 2 here. Now, this guy, this is what I was talking at the beginning of the show. I'm kind of torn on this, but I'm leaning towards he's fool's gold, and I'm going to fade him. Now, he's dropped. His ADP has dropped. The guy I'm talking about is Kenneth Walker, sitting around 14th on the consensus rankings. Another guy that I believe is fool's gold. Now, last year had himself a good campaign. I told you to draft him and fade Penny. This time I'm telling you to avoid him and maybe get Zach Charbonnet. Zach Charbonnet, however you want to pronounce it, 6'1", 220 pounds, was a second-round pick. Now, if you saw my Insta, if you're not following on IG, follow up Fantasy Football Counselor, I lost it when I saw this pick happen because Kenneth Walker was finally primed to be that workhorse. There was no Penny going into the season. He was the man. Now, 228 attempts, 1,000 yards last year, 1,050 on the ground, 9 touchdowns, primed for amazing volume. And then the Seattle Seahawks pull something out that really took everybody by storm, including myself, and draft one of the top running back prospects in the second round. Destroying the fantasy football value of Kenneth Walker. Now you're saying, well, maybe not. Maybe Kenneth Walker is still the workhorse, and Zach is just going to be a guy that comes in for, a guy that's going to come in just to give Walker a break, right? No, not the case. Now, if you look at Zach Charbonnet, if you look at his numbers, 203 attempts, 1,137 yards on the ground, and 13 touchdowns, and then 14 touchdowns last year. That was 2021. In 2022, 14 touchdowns, 1,359 yards, 195 attempts, and 37 receptions. So he could do it all. He can run, he can catch. He's a big guy, 6'1", 220 pounds, and he was a second-round pick. Same as Kenneth Walker, both second-round picks, both now in a committee, and I don't really believe what coaches say. But Pete Carroll. I'm thinking of the guy from The Office. Okay, 40-year-old virgin. No, is that Steve Carell? Anyway, no. Pete Carroll has now said that this is a joke. Yes, Steve Carell for sure. This is an absolute joke. That Pete Carroll is saying that this could actually be an opportunity for Zach to take that starting job. They're fighting for a job. Now, this could be a coach thing where they're saying, let's light some fire under Kenneth Walker. Let's light some fire under Zach and just kind of see how it plays out. But either way, I don't feel warm and fuzzy about the situation. I think it's just too crowded of a situation to invest an early draft pick on Kenneth Walker. Now, Zach Charbonnet is coming off. We're going to have to see where his ADP comes off, but he's coming off a little higher. I saw him come off like in the 7th round. People are reaching for him now because they heard the news with Pete Carroll saying that it could be a committee and that Zach could take that job. Again, I don't know. I don't know. Either way, I'm staying away. I don't like it. It doesn't make me feel warm and fuzzy. I was warm and fuzzy about Kenneth Walker, was going to potentially be my RB 1.01 first overall pick, but now I'm really turned off. So this is disgusting. I don't like it. I'm fading it. It's got problems and red flags written all over it. Fool's gold for Kenneth Walker. Now, again, his ADP is dropped. You could probably get him in the 2nd or 3rd round, which, again, is a round cheaper than you were getting him, but I still don't like it at all. Okay? So there you have it, guys. Fool's gold, Kenneth Walker. Number 3, again, in the comments below, drop it. Drop it like it's hot. A name of a running back, early round running back that's a fool's gold. If it's one of these guys, let me know if you agree, okay? Third guy here is Tony Pollard. Now, Pollard was not and has never been a workhorse running back. And I didn't look this up before, the exact extent of the injury, but he was hurt last year. People forget that Tony Pollard was hurt. Now I got to look this up again because I totally forgot I want to know the exact extent of the injury. So we're going to do this together. In the comments, drop it below because I should be all over this. It was a fibula. He fractured his fibula. That's what it was. I'm trying to remember the name of the injury. And suffered a high ankle injury. Yeah, it happened like in the late season, okay? So again, people tend to forget about this, okay? Now, he did finish 9th in fantasy points, 193 attempts, 1,007 yards, 9 touchdowns, 39 receptions on that, 3 receiving touchdowns. So he did some running. He did some catching. 193 attempts is nothing to, it's no slouch. Now, understand Zeke was there, and he had himself a campaign. Not the greatest campaign, but 231 attempts that are now freed up. Now you're saying, oh, wow, this is great. He is a winner here. They didn't draft another running back early in rounds. He's fine. Is he, though? That's where I introduce you a big sleeper here right now here. Deuce Vaughn, 6th round pick. Let's talk about this. Out of KSU. Okay? Deuce Vaughn. I'm going to pull up the numbers here. This guy had more scrimmage yards in 2020 to 2022 over that time period than Bijon Robinson. Okay? By the way, Bijon. I should start calling him Bijon now. I actually reposted one of his stories where he was talking about God, and I reposted it and I said he's a real one, and then he gave me a captain thumbs up reply back on my DM. I should post that as well so you guys could see it. But awesome. I like Bijon. I should start calling him how he likes to pronounce Bijon just because he's a nice guy, really good guy. But either way, for now it's still Bijon. Okay, so anyway, point I'm trying to make is Deuce Vaughn, 6th round pick by the Cowboys, whom, however, was recommended by the Cowboys scout Chris Vaughn, who happens to be Deuce Vaughn's dad. So Chris Vaughn, who's associated as a lead scout for the Dallas Cowboys, helped in drafting Deuce Vaughn, his son, on the team, and they got a steal in the 6th round. And like I said, Deuce Vaughn, who is small, he's a small guy. He's only like 5'6", low center of gravity, tree trunks for legs. This guy has a low center of gravity, but is very strong. He can run, he can catch, he's elusive. He's a full workhorse running back. I'm telling you, I know he's small, and you may consider he's got that Darren Sproles type role. I think he could be a workhorse running back. Okay, like I said, he more scrimmage yards than Bijon Robinson. I don't know I don't know what language I need to convey this to you. So all I'm saying is this, okay? If you're interested in Tony Pollard as a top 8 pick, which is where he's going, he's 7th on the consensus rankings, which means he's like a late 1st round pick. If you want to invest in Tony Pollard, understand this going in, because everyone's just telling you Tony Pollard, top 10 pick, Tony Pollard, round 1. Deuce Vaughn may or may not be a threat, maybe a workhorse running back, or may not even be a factor. We don't know. But I will tell you there are signs, including the injury to Pollard later in the season, including 230 freed up attempts that may go to Pollard, but he's not a workhorse guy. He's never been. He was a 4th round pick in 2019, Pollard was. But you got Deuce Vaughn, who was a workhorse and can be a workhorse. And remember, guys, Ray Rice was a small dude on the Ravens, but that guy was a good fantasy machine if you go back years and years ago, if you remember. So Deuce Vaughn will be a factor, I assure you. I feel that, and I'm going to grab him later. I'm stashing him as a big-time sleeper. So Tony Pollard is going to be fool's gold. I really believe that. Kenneth Walker and Etienne, be careful with these guys. Okay, I'm telling you, be careful with these guys. You will be disappointed if you draft them. I got this feeling, okay? And I've given you facts on why. All right? So drop a comment below, thumbs up. Let me know. Grab 60 hours if this is making sense to you. This is not copy and paste land here, guys. This is logic land, common sense land, practical land. That's what I do. Grab 60 rounds of linked below. Use code WIN to save. and subscribe, thumbs up, and drop a name below. Let me know. Are these guys fool's gold? Who is in the early rounds at the running back position? Love to get your feedback. I'm fading these three guys. Let me know. More content coming your way. Subscribe, thumbs up. I'm out.